Man, I can't believe it's November already. You know what I mean? It's the official start of cuffing season. You guys familiar with the term cuffing? It's when you line up your fuck buddy for the winter. The women may know it as squirreling. You know, it's when you go out gathering nuts. I don't know about you. People seem very horny after the lockdown. Like they're all horned up. Not in my house. The only time my wife gets excited is when she's scrolling through cheese videos on Instagram. Thanks, baby. No, single people though. Single people out of control. A friend of mine, she finished Tinder. She swiped them all. She started using Uber Eats as a dating app. When she says, I feel like Mexican, she does not mean a burrito. And she's not even choosy. Any one will do. Yeah, it's gonna be that kind of show. Kind of glad everything's kind of getting back to normal a little bit. Last couple of years, they got dark. You know, there were moments like where, you know, I don't know about you, I was thinking a lot about my mortality. Like I told my wife, I hope that I die before she does. Now, she thought it was romantic. She's like, oh my God, he can't bear to live without me. I just don't want to pack up all her shit. She's been doing a lot of online shopping. Shein, great deals, great value. My wife and I, we've been trying to go out more. She's been trying to get me to go to high tea. Like she actually thought she married the type of man who would go to high tea. And she was right. I went to high tea. Gotta say, the use of the word high, very misleading. They didn't even have edibles. Also, high tea, have you guys ever been? Shockingly erotic. No, they have descriptions for the teas, and for some reason, very sexual. You know, it's like 50 Shades of Earl Grey. Thank you. No, seriously though, there was one tea that said it would pleasantly linger on the tongue. Ooh. There was another that said it would leave you with an I want more finish. Rawr. My personal favorite promised reasonable depth. Reasonable depth to me may be the most British phrase that I've ever heard. I think reasonable depth qualifies as dirty talk in England. It's like, shag me, baby. Shag me to a reasonable depth. So the one place I haven't gone back is the gym. You know, and it's not the working out part. I'm not like scared of getting sick. It's the unwanted window into people's personal hygiene habits. Like, no, seriously, you walk in the change room, you will see guys full on shaving their balls, and it's like, really? I can't wait till you get home, buddy? Like, are your pubes somehow interfering with your lunges? Like, Jesus. I hate it when you're working out too, and some guy comes up and he's like, hey bro, can you spot me? Because it's always some like jack dude trying to bench like 800 pounds, and it's like, but if you can't lift that, what the fuck do you expect me to do, right? But you can't say no, so you just end up standing over top of him very awkwardly, just trying not to teabag him, thinking, but I hope you got this. Because otherwise the last thing you're ever gonna see are my balls on your forehead. I mean, they're freshly shaved, but still. What else can I tell you? I am a new dad. Thank you. Stepdad, I'm new. Kids are previously owned. Gotta say, it's a great time to be a stepdad. I don't know if you've heard, but A&W has finally welcomed the step papa into their family of burgers. It's awesome. You get 2 teen burgers, and another guy pays for them every month. It's great. They come topped with garnished wages, which is nice. Which is nice. Never had any kids of my own. The very notion you would get someone pregnant on purpose just goes against everything I've ever learned. But a buddy of mine told me that he and his wife are trying, which I don't know why couples feel compelled to share that information, because I think we all know where babies come from. So when you say you're trying, really just means you're raw dogging. Like, I know you think you're being fancy, like, ooh, my lady and I are riding bareback. Well, tally ho, good for you, old chap. I hope you shag her to a reasonable death. I gotta say, I really actually like being a stepdad. I look at it like staying at an Airbnb, you know? You get to enjoy the comforts of home, and if anything goes wrong, the original owners have to fix it. It's amazing. Best part about being a stepdad, I have never changed a single diaper. But one day those kids will change mine. They hate that joke. I'm like, that's not a bit. I've learned a lot. I've learned that kids ask a lot of tough questions, you know, keep you on your toes. I was driving the boy somewhere, and he asked me, Paul, why do people masturbate? I know, I just told him the truth. Helps you sleep. The girl, one day she asked, what's a bleached asshole? Told her Guy Fieri. Also the truth. My wife, she thinks it's time we should sit the kids down and have the talk. Man, I don't know what to tell them. Things have changed so much. Like, when I was their age, genitals were still covered in hair. You know what I mean? Like, you looked at any old nudie mag, every model looked like they had Erykah Badu in a scissor lock, okay? Now, they don't even have nudie mags anymore. Like, porn is everywhere, which is fine. I don't have a problem with porn. I do worry it creates unrealistic expectations. Like, ladies, you gotta remember, the camera adds 10 inches, okay? That's just science. That's just science for you. Parenting styles have changed. Like, when I was a kid, parents would still spank their children. You know, I think, you know, we can all agree, thankfully, times have changed. Proud to tell you, in our house, no one gets spanked till after the kids are asleep. That's our rule. I like being married. My wife is awesome. She's a strong, independent woman. Unless something needs to be fixed or mowed, any heavy lifting. She's what I call a white-collar feminist. The patriarchy must be dismantled. And then, honey, can you take that out for me, please? And I'm like, quid pro quo, baby. Blowjobs for blue jobs. That's what I tell her. I don't tell her that. She is way tougher than I am. I'm a little bit scared. My wife, she was born in Beirut. Her family moved over here when she was a kid to escape the war. Settled in Scarborough, so, you know, lateral move, maybe. It's true though, my wife, when she was 6 years old, her family would often have to sleep in their car in an underground parking garage because their home was definitely in the line of fire during missile attacks. Closest I've ever come to bombing is right here on this stage right now. No, it's crazy though, like just, you know, every time I hear her tell stories about her childhood, I'm just like, I just can't relate to it. Like, you know, like I grew up in Oshawa, which maybe by Canadian standards is kind of a shithole, but no, it's true. It's basically, imagine a dollar store fucked a bingo hall. Like that's Oshawa. It's dirty, but it's safe. Like, when I was 6, I had a paper route, which was fine. Of course, when I went around to collect, people would pay me with empties, which is fine. No, it was cool. You could return them for a deposit, or just smash them on the curb and mug the smaller kids. That's a straight up Oshawa move right there. I do like being married. I was single for a long time. I was what you would call a late bloomer. You know, it's because women, when you're younger, you want a guy who's edgy, right? And obviously, that's not how I was raised. I was a Boy Scout. I was an altar boy. My parents clearly wanted me to be molested. I wasn't cute enough. No, I don't miss dating. Dated some real winners in my day. I remember I dated a redhead who insisted, like she was adamant that the word ginger was just as offensive as the N-word. I know, I was like, ginger, please. Yeah, it's true. Like, can we not agree, like, if the G-bomb was as offensive as the N-bomb, there is no way we'd still be drinking ginger ale, okay? Like, no one's canceling Schweppes. Like, I don't remember them, ferrying off, like, redheads to the New World to work in their fields. Like, I'll be honest, they would have had sunstroke by noon. It would have been a disaster. No, I had a lot of failed relationships, but I learned a thing or two. For instance, if you date someone who uses the term fur baby, it's a giant red flag. No, it's true. When they say doggy style, they mean a threesome. Best advice I can give you, don't date Taylor Swift. That never ends well. Second best advice, don't get married when you're young. Especially guys. And the reason for that is because as women get older, their standards get so much lower. No, it's true. My wife never would have dated me in her 20s. We laugh about it. Don't know why she laughs. But here's the thing. As women get older, dating for them becomes a little like shopping at Winners. You know what I mean? Like you start out determined you're gonna find the perfect jacket. Then somewhere around 34, 35, somewhere in the mid-30s, that hope starts to fade, all right? But then, just before they've completely given up, they notice a jacket. It's maybe not the jacket, but, well, they'll get it altered. Then they take a closer look and they're like, shit, are those puka shells on the zipper? God damn it, there's gold embroidery in the back that says Savage. They can see now why no one paid full price. But at this point, the store is closing. And they just want a goddamn jacket. Something, anything to keep them warm in this cold, harsh world. So don't you dare judge me in my Savage puka shells. Fun fact, that was my wife's wedding speech. And we eloped. I'm going to leave you with a final thought tonight, and that is, I believe it's time we got some new swear words. Remember George Carlin in the 70s famously said, there's 7 dirty words that you can never say on television, right? But if you look at that list now, times have changed. Like there's shit, tits, piss, fuck. These days, they don't give a fuck if you say shit on Caillou, okay? Now the C word is interesting, because in Canada, very much taboo, right? But in Britain, like the Queen uses it as an adverb. It's like, Harry and that common woman have been behaving most cuntily. So that leaves 2, and these are the big 2. Cocksucker and motherfucker. And the problem with these is that they insult the wrong person. No, sure, like imagine I'm driving here today, someone cuts me off. I could very well call them a cocksucking motherfucker. I grew up in Oshawa, it's kind of how we roll. But I wouldn't be insulting the person who cut me off, right? I'd be insulting cocksuckers and motherfuckers. And cocksuckers deserve, command respect. People who suck cock are good and decent everyday heroes. Anyone who's ever sucked my cock, I remember them fondly. Cocksucker is not an insult. And motherfucker? I am a motherfucker. My father is a motherfucker. Your father is a motherfucker. We are all children of motherfuckers. So what I'm saying to you tonight is just be mindful with your insults. Just think who or what deserves your hate. Next time someone cuts me off, calling them a dick-picking, thirst-trapping, mother cuffin, ginger bashin, reasonably deep, Rittenhausen, Ford fisted magafucker. If you hated me, just call him a piece of Schmidt. That is my name and my time. Thank you guys very much. I'm Paul Schmidt.